Hello, this is Dan Reed from the Dan Reed Network, and you are watching Underkill TV. Keep the rock world alive. Peace.
Handful of gigs to do now. Take the money, run. Pull up your dress, making a mess. That's my fuel to run. This is rock and roll. Burn out to my soul. This is rock and roll.
Welcome to Underkill TV, here in St David's Hall in Cardiff, joined by a man who needs no introduction whatsoever, the one and only Dan Reed. Dan, great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for coming by today and talking.
And you're out on the road supporting Thunder acoustically, right?
Yeah, it's a great honor. I mean, playing these, this is the first time I've seen St. David's Hall here in Cardiff, and I had no idea kind of the majestic vibe these rooms are going to have. So to go out there solo acoustic and try to connect with these size rooms, I think most of the rooms are sold out, is going to be a really interesting challenge, and I'm looking forward to it.
And what can somebody who's never seen Dan Reed solo expect on your acoustic show?
I think the main thing I go for is just intention, purity of intention. I try to relate to where I wrote the song, when I wrote it, why I wrote it, and then I try to convey that song as if it was the very first time I've ever played it. So it's really about, it's a test as an artist to get out and see if you can connect to people through a simple thing as a 6-string guitar and a vocal, especially in front of 2,000 people. So, yeah, it's going to be, I think you can expect a little bit of soul searching is what I'm doing up there with these songs, and try to have fun with it, and hopefully make people smile and forget their stress for the day. That's my goal.
And as you say, this is the first one of a small cluster of shows. Is there a lot of preparation than going into a network show to a solo show, or is it still the same sort of?
Well, the solo show, I have to play quite a bit at home to get my hands ready, but usually when I'm playing solo, if I'm doing my own shows, they're 2-hour sets. So I get cramps in my hands if I don't work out with my hand and voice as well. But with these shows, they're 40 minutes, so I kind of just ran through songs that I thought I would play on this tour for the last couple weeks. But no, with the network, it's much more stressful. There's tons of, with the back line and hotels and just, managing the whole process of putting that on. So this is quite easy for me as far as technical preparation. It's just more about mental, which is about an hour before the show.
Excellent stuff. And obviously, I think the last time we saw you was in Ponte. You were telling everybody you had the New Year's Eve gig in Prague. How did that go down? Was that good?
It was a lot of fun. People came from the United States and Australia. Had a couple friends from all over Europe came. So it was fantastic. It was really a great way to ring in the new year. And originally it was supposed to be a year off for me. But when this opportunity to play with Thunder came up, I couldn't say no to that. So, but it was a great ending of 2018 and perfect kind of set us energy-wise into this year. I went back to my studio on January 2nd, and between then and now, I've written maybe 15 new songs, a few for the Snake Oil and Harmony record with Danny Vaughn that we're going to record this summer, and then about 12 songs for the next network album that we're going to try to record in January in 2020 in Portland, Oregon. So that'll be out not this summer, but the following summer.
Tell us a little bit more about this with Danny Vaughn then. Can you go into it a little bit more?
Well, Danny contacted me a few years back after we met at Download Festival, and asked if I'd be interested in going out and touring with him acoustically. And we did. We found a time window, went out, had a great time, really good vibe from the audiences. So we went out a second time, and then a third time, and now we're kind of like, now it's the third time we decided it was a good opportunity to start writing some stuff together. If we're going to continue doing this, why don't we make a Snake Oil and Harmony record of us writing stuff together? And so sometimes I'm writing lyrics, sometimes he's writing lyrics. We're just trading stuff back and forth right now. But over the next 6 months, we're going to finish composition and probably record the record in Prague in August. So.
He's obviously a man in the moment at the moment, because he's basically called out Pledge with all the. What's your view on the whole thing, Dan?
Well, I've done 3 campaigns with Pledge in the past, and they were all on time, fully funded, good vibes. I feel that the UK branch of the company, the people that started it, are stand-up guys and gals, and the people that work there are ethical and hard workers, but I think they got into corporate trouble with trying to expand and that happens with so many different companies. Then you get this chicken egg thing. Like, you really, what do you do? Do you tell everybody that's bringing money in, all the artists, that we're in trouble, and then the whole company fails, or do you try to keep it alive so that you can go around the corner and get rid of the bad blood that was making the company go under? And so this is where I have a dilemma with it, because I'm really good friends with Danny Vaughn. I even know some of the other artists, choir boys, and other people that are affected by this. And I feel for them, and I think that hopefully they'll find ways to survive. I know that Danny figured it out along with help from the people that work with him. But at the same time, I have those same feelings for the people that work at Pledge. Yeah, sure. And so I won't vilify them for what happened. I think they made some stupid mistakes. But at the same time, they've had over 40,000 successful campaigns over the last 13 years. And it's only been this last year where things have fallen down. Yeah. So for me, I wish all the artists that are in trouble right now great success in finding solutions to their problems. At the same time, I want the people that are running Pledge for the last decade and a half, I hope they find a solution to their problem too, because they have been invaluable to this music business in the last decade.
Well, it's going, doesn't it? What's the plan for maybe the network? Is there any plans for the network? Obviously, you said 2020. Is there any ideas or?
Well, this year, 2019, is the 30th year of our album Slam that was released on Polygram. And so we're toying around with the idea of going out and touring all around Europe, and maybe even some shows in the United States in celebration of that. So stay tuned for that if you guys are interested in checking that out. It's going to be a fun night.
Anybody who wants to check that out, is the usual Twitter, Facebook, and everything. Just go here.
Is there stuff on the screen now? I don't even see it.
So we may. Is there any plans for maybe any festivals in the pipeline or something, solo or maybe with?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We're talking about doing a lot of that stuff in 2020, the summer of 2020. So we hope to come back to hopefully rock and blues, Steelhouse, stuff like that. There might be some other stuff going on this end of year. We're just not sure yet, so I can't say anything. But it's exciting times. We're really looking forward to it.
So if you want to stay tuned, make sure you check out the website, Facebook, follow on Twitter, etc. And what's been your own personal highlight for the last couple of years? Because I mean, there must be so many. I mean, you know, all, as you say, you've had the successful Pledge campaigns and things like that. What's been your own personal highlight, Dan?
I think if we're talking about my musical career stuff, I think the studio sessions that we did with live audiences, those have been kind of my favorite moments this last year. We did one in Manchester, New York, Portland, Oregon, Stockholm, Sweden, and Berlin, Germany, just a few weeks ago on December 29th. And there's between, 75 to 150 people at each one of these, and it's a whole day-long event, recording a new song and a remake of an old song, and we get the audience to sing with us, and we laugh a lot, and it's kind of it's like for a day there's 100 people in the band, and we all just feel like this camaraderie. That's at least from my point of view, and the comments we get back from people that attend these events are so positive. So there's something about those where you get to spend more time with people rather than 90 minutes during a show and just saying a quick hi at the merch table or people after the set. That's quite invigorating for the soul. I'm enjoying it so much, so I hope we get to do more of those in the future.
Excellent stuff. One other quick thing I wanted to ask, because I know you're busy and everything. As you said, with the Slam 30 years, what is the key to staying in the business this long? I mean, it seems to be all the artists, like from especially myself growing up, are all still touring now. And you know, the 5-minute wonders, you see them come and go, but you guys have stood another band that's proven to be stood the test of time. What is the key to it?
It's a good question. I think that our history, our foundation was the club days before we got our record deal. So we were playing clubs for like 3 years, and then we got our record deal, and then toured for 4 years straight. We were just together 7 years constantly. And I think when you have a family unit that you're on the road with, and you know every little bit about their personality and their life, that it is a family. And you can't really turn your back on those people, even if you want to. So I think us taking that time in the beginning is what is the glue that's keeping us together now. Even though we took a lot of time off, and we had a lot of problems, and we hated each other for a while, and all that kind of weird stuff that went on, it all disappears. Yeah, it all disappears when you check your ego at the door and realize you're doing it for the music and not for the ego and money and fame and all that kind of stuff. If you're doing it just for the good times, conversations on the road, those moments on stage, and writing a good melody with a nice lyric, if you stick to those things, any band can work it out, I hope.
Well, Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure having the time with you and chatting to you. Those that, as I say, want to check out Dan, give him a like on Facebook, give him a follow on Twitter, and stay tuned to upcoming news. Dan, once again, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Happy New Year to you.
And Happy New Year.
Out there.
This is Alistair from Underkill TV, signing out with the one and only Dan Reid. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Right on.
Excellent.